Hey everybody, this is John Bruni, and we have an incredible guest with us today. The champ, Vinny Paz, is in the house. Vinny Paz is a former world champion boxer. He was known in the ring as the Pazmanian Devil. Paz's career has become an inspiration to so many people, from making historic jumps in weight classes to overcoming a devastating injury. Paz is a true legend. Welcome to the show, Vinny Paz.
Awesome, man. I'm so glad to be on. And
yes, the
I'm
bonus.
So glad to be on with one of my best friends.
Yeah, we have a bonus guest on with us today, too, Greg Vartanian. And these guys have known each other for a long time. We're just going to get into it. It's going to be a great show. So welcome, Vinny and Greg.
43 years I've known Vinny. Unreal.
Yeah, it's so he's my buddy. He's the coolest guy I've ever met.
Love it,
Vinny. No,
but I did kick his ass when I was 14.
You certainly did.
And we're going to get into that.
John, did you hear the story about our first sparring? Did you hear that?
Yeah, well, let's get into it in just a second, because I want to talk about, first, before we get into the sparring session, Vinny, how did you get into boxing in the first place? Because we know the outcome. You became a world champ. But how did this whole journey even begin? And then you got to tell us about the beatdown with Greg, which I'm sure he wants to relive. But, yeah, share with us that journey and then the first sparring session there.
I just happened to like the sport, put it on TV all the time. As a kid at 5 years old, like who does that at 5 years old? But when I did see the first guy I saw box, his name happened to be Muhammad Ali, and I loved the guy. I fell in love with him, and I wanted to be him. I wanted to do what he did. I wanted to, he literally set the precedent to my whole life. Like, if you want to really get down to it, it was all about Muhammad Ali, and that's why I did what I did, or I wouldn't have happened. How nuts is that?
That's great. Yeah. So get into those early sparring sessions, and like I said, there's no filters, no time limit on these questions. You guys just go to town. Tell about that first time.
Okay. Well, I was 20, started boxing. This is September of 1977. I was 20 years old. I weighed 135 pounds. I was 5'8". Vinny just starting. He boxed before, but this was a serious attempt now at 14. He was 14, 5'6", about 114 pounds. And the guy who owned the gym wanted us to spar. And I'm looking and said, "Are you freaking kidding me? He's a kid. He's a small kid." So we get in the ring, and then forget it. I'll tell you, you could see the talent right off the bat. The athleticism, the movement, foot speed, hand speed, accuracy of his punches, the style of his punches. He was a little whirlwind back then. And
let me tell you, John, he was fast as lightning. Greg was fast as lightning. Now, come to find out years later, it's because he's a nervous wreck. He's the greatest. He's the greatest. He was fast as lightning. I swear to God, he was the fastest guy in the gym, but he was a nervous wreck.
I was hyper. Let me tell you, I was hyper as all hell. But Vinny, I remember you loving Ali, and you patented your style of boxing after him.
Yeah.
And you were like a mini Muhammad Ali. If you didn't want to get hit, nobody would hit you. Remember that? Remember, the amateurs, forget it. You had radar, and you were slick, just like Ali, tremendous athlete. Look how Ali dominated everybody. Are you kidding?
So what I'm hearing is that, you had some gifts that you just can't teach. You can put in all the work, but then there's an athletic ability, or like you talk about the radar, being able to sense things before they happen, being able to read people. Is that what I'm picking up on here?
That's right.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
So crazy. Like go figure. Like, why did I, do what I did in boxing? Who wins 50 pro fights? Who wins 5 world titles? I mean,
and you fought all the top guys.
Yeah, crazy.
Who wins them? Pazmanian Devil. That's who wins them.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So into these sessions, then when did you decide this is going to be my career? Because a lot of people enjoy sports. A lot of people, it's a hobby. A lot of people even do the tournaments, and they'll be halfway in. When did you know this is going to be a career path? I'm all in 100%. This is my future.
From day one. From day one. The first time I went, it's called Ocean State Boxing. This crazy duo, father and son, happened to open this gym up, and I was lucky enough to run into Greg there, and literally he was fast as lightning. I swear, he was fast, and I got in the ring with him. I got in the ring with other guys, and I don't know. Go figure why. I don't know.
Rocky
I just happened to be good.
Rocky inspired you. Remember?
Yeah.
Rocky, that really got you going too.
Yeah, that really got me going. Yeah. Sylvester Stallone's Rocky 1. That's what did it for me. Because I used to always box, like, through the years. Like, I used to box at an organization from 5 to 10 years old. Then it stopped at 10. So I had to, do other things, go other places. My parents wanted me to keep up my grades and get, like, I literally got A's, B's, and a few C's my whole life. And
high school football, Vinny. How about the high school football? Yeah. Tremendous there.
Yeah, unbelievable. And you know what? Like, I'm so lucky. I'm blessed. But if I was a little bit bigger, I would have definitely went to the NFL. I would have played the NFL because I was good at football, really good. And I was a madman, I
You were, Vinny. Oh,
yeah.
my God.
So it's a good thing that I went into boxing, because I don't think I could have ever won 5 Super Bowls. That wouldn't have happened. So I got lucky. I got blessed. I'm blessed.
Well, and it's the intensity,
I still got some people around me, like, still, very few, like you can count them definitely on one hand, but it's just crazy. Life's crazy for everybody.
Yeah, but Vinny, you were a hard worker. Let me tell you something. The way you train like an animal. Are you kidding? You had more stamina than anybody. Remember, guys, in the amateurs, we get winded in the 3rd round. You could have gone 10 rounds when you were a teenager. Are you kidding me? You never tied the later rounds. And you packed the places. In the amateurs, Golden Glove tournaments, there'd be like 25 fights. Place sold out with a few thousand people. Small arena in Massachusetts, Dartmouth, Mass, called Lincoln Park. Vinny was the main event. Literally the 27th fight, but people stayed the whole night just to watch Vinny. And he put on a show, incredible. Uppercuts, overhand rights, just moving, sticking, incredible boxing ability. People loved it. That's when he first started. The fever of Vinny Paz. That's when it really first started, right there in the amateurs.
And Greg, you saying that makes me think of my dad.
Yes.
He went and sold tickets to everybody and their mother. He would make people come. They didn't even like boxing. He would make them come and watch me.
Well, he was the toughest. I wonder you got your fortitude from your toughness from him and your mother.
Absolutely.
You kidding? Tell me about your mom, the accident she had. Coming home.
Right, let's listen to this one. My mother, little old Italian lady, was a hairdresser. Had a hairdressing salon not too far from the house, couple blocks up from the house. She never drove, so she walked there every day. And one day she stopped at the market, got a bunch of things, carrying 2 bags home with her. At the top of the street, 2 blocks up, she trips on the curb, falls down, breaks her knee in 8 places, picks up all the stuff, puts them back in the bag, walks down 2 blocks, walks up 2 stairs to the house, cooks dinner for my father, and then says, "Angelo, will you please take me to the hospital? My knee's killing me." So when the doctor ever heard that, he goes, Vinny, we take football players off fields that break the knee like this. We take them out in a stretcher. Your mother walked two blocks. Are you kidding me?
So
yeah,
that's tough. That's tough. Mine's tough too.
Yeah, toughness runs in your family. That's for sure. And you know, you mentioned a couple things. First, the Rocky. I don't know if there's anybody that can watch any training sequence during Rocky and not get jacked out of their mind, you know, and ready to run through a wall. But I think that's why it resonated with you. You know, you were such a hard, you know, training athlete, and the toughness. One of the things you mentioned is about your dad, and just we had an opportunity to have Burt Watson on here, you know, babysitted the stars not too long ago, and he talked about how powerful that relationship was with your dad. I mean, you know, you mentioned that. That's not something that everybody has growing up, for sure.
Oh, my God. I got so lucky, you know what I mean? It's just, I've literally had a blessed life, you know? Who comes back after they break their neck in a car accident? You know,
but
who
Vinny,
fights again?
Your dad was there with you every day. You went to spar,
Every
not even
day.
the fights. Just for workouts, your dad was there every day with you. We never missed one.
My father would come with me every day to the gym. Like, he was unbelievable.
Incredible. That man was incredible. I got to tell you, really, Vinny. You opened your gym, father and son's gym in Providence, your own gym. He was amazing.
That was a fire station, Greg.
Yeah, yes, I remember.
Fire station. You had the pole in when we first went there. The pole was still in the damn building.
Oh my God. I remember you had to renovate the whole thing. Yeah, your dad was an amazing man. Never meet anybody tougher than him. See that?
No,
See, Vinny, look, that's what your whole career was all about too. Are you kidding me? You out-toughed everybody.
Yeah.
The cuts, the bruises, nothing stopped you. You're an animal. Nothing stops
you. True, brother. I'm so glad this is so cool. G-Vart's on a podcast with me.
Yeah.
People will say,
documentary coming up, don't you?
What is he, a rapper? G-Vart.
G-Vart, I like that, man. G-Vart, he could be throwing down some rhymes. We don't know. Come on now.
Hey, I'm still living in the 70s. Forget it. Are you kidding?
I love it. Well, let's talk about this. What were some of your favorite all-time opponents that you went toe-to-toe in the ring with?
I hate that one little punk white kid that I fought, Greg Haugen. I can't stomach him, so I'm not even going to say his name. Although I did beat him 2 out of 3 times. Kicked his ass the last fight. He didn't even touch me. I fought and I was in front of President Trump, who was in the front row because it was at his place. So Haugen's one of them. Another good fight that a lot of people don't know, haven't seen. I love the fight, and I actually liked the kid that I fought, you know, and I hated that. I hated that I didn't like him because I tried to find ways not to like guys, and this guy was just, you know, he was a tough mofo, and he fought everybody, and he was a hard ass. I don't know if you remember the name Glenwood Brown.
Oh yeah, Vinny. Yes, remember that fight?
He was a bad dude. So I fought him, and the hell happened? I beat him. It was a war. I mean, I went to
Foxwoods. Yeah, that was a war. At Foxwoods. How about you get into the ring with Roy Jones Jr.? How about that? In his prime. When Roy was in his prime.
Roy beats me. He beats the little white guy. In the next fight, he wins the heavyweight championship of the world. I went, what was I thinking?
Really, Vinny? Roy Jones, nobody could touch him.
Let me tell you something about that fight. That fight would have never, and that's why I hate that fight. That's my worst hated fight that I've ever had.
I know.
Tell
me about it.
Like, the weigh-in the night before, I go to, it was his people that promoted the fight. So I tell him, I said, hey, can you tell me, you know, when this is going to go off, when we're going to fight? Just an hour each way, maybe 9 o'clock, maybe 8, maybe 10. And so the dude says, oh, Vinny, it'll go off by 9 o'clock. No problem. for sure. 9:30. I said, okay, that's cool. So now I get jacked up for 8:30. So I think I'm going to fight around 9:30. I drink the coffee. I take the pills that what's in them? They're like ginger root, and all that
like
stuff.
Like a water releaser.
Yes. And so I'm ready to go at 9:30. I'm like jamming. 10 o'clock, I'm good. 10:30. 11 o'clock. I'm lying down.
Yeah.
12:10. My father taps me. Says, Champ, come on, wake up, let's go. We gotta fight this guy. I'm like, oh my God. I don't sleep.
Yeah.
I was knocked out. And I couldn't do anything with him. He was fast as lightning. My God. He was Mayweather, back in the day. Fast as lightning, couldn't hit him. And it's funny, it's crazy funny, because in the fight with Tyson, he still has that bit of ability where you can't hit him.
Well,
he's unhittable. At one point, he was untouchable. Then he got knocked out and see, balls have a lot to do with what you do in life. How big your balls are has a lot to do with what you do in life and what happens to you in life. He fought me at 168. He went up to heavyweight, won the heavyweight championship of the world. Didn't want to stay there because I don't want to fight these heavyweights. I'm really not supposed to be here. No, he was supposed to be there, and he should have stayed there. Because what he did, he went from 2 change all the way down to like 30 pounds to fight for the light heavyweight title against what's your brother's name? Good guy. Antonio Tava.
Yeah.
So Tava, when you lose weight, which I'm so blessed, like I told you, I'm blessed. I'm so lucky, because I used to lose so much weight. I won my first world title at lightweight, and it was like unbelievable for me to make that weight. So I won the world title, and then I lost it back to Haugen in Atlantic City because I lost like 13, 14 pounds the day before the fight. Killed me. My first loss. So anyways, Roy Jones wins the heavyweight championship of the world. Feels good, looking great. The guy didn't even hit him. He fought a guy by the name of John Ruiz from Massachusetts over here. Mm-hmm. John Ruiz, no big deal. But guess what? John Ruiz beat Evander Holyfield. Mm-hmm. Like, that's big. That's big, really big. He beats Evander Holyfield. So because Roy Jones don't have the balls to stay at heavyweight, he goes all the way back. He loses 30 pounds, all the way back down to light heavyweight. Fights Antonio Tava, gets knocked out. Because when you lose all that weight, you lose fluid around the brain, and your skull hits the core, hits the bone, and you get knocked out. And that's the only reason. And ever since then, he was never the same. He won fights, but he was never the same since that happening. And it would have never happened. I think he could end up being a great heavyweight champion. But he wanted to go right back down because he didn't have the balls to stay there.
Yeah. Yeah, Vinny, when you fought him, he was in his prime. Nobody could last even 2 rounds with him. He was incredible. Yeah. And you still lasted 6 rounds.
It was the worst fight of my life, which made it twice as bad.
I know. You went to that fight not ready. They screwed you over. Yeah. You had to wait 3 hours later before you fought. Literally. You were drained.
Which is crazy. I can't imagine taking, your you talk about your coffee and everything. You want to have your guts clean. I guess is what I'm trying to say before you get in the ring. Totally. You've done all those things, and then it's like the delay. And now it comes full circle. So let's talk about this for a second. What was it like for you to be a judge at the Tyson Jones fight? I mean, that really is full circle. So you're looking at a guy like thinking, I fought this guy. Now I'm a judge.
Mike Tyson can't knock
What was that
him out.
like?
Tyson would have knocked him out if he ever hit him, but he couldn't hit him. Couldn't hit him.
Oh.
He didn't hit him. That's why I gave the fight to Jones, because he hardly got hit. He got hit in the body like crazy, but a body shot does not match a headshot. Mm-hmm. And Jones was hitting him with little fast shots to the head. Bang, 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 little pop, pop. Didn't do nothing to Tyson. Tyson's killing his body, but so what? So what?
Now, would have you seen it in your day, like in your prime? Because again, we're talking about going back to the old days. We're talking about for a second. That fight would have probably looked different, because don't you think the ref would have broke you up more if you're clenching that much back then, or is that,
Yeah, no, you're right, and yeah, that's I didn't even think of that, but yeah, you're absolutely right. But Jones did what he had to do to win.
Absolutely, it's all strategy.
If you let him go, I said, when people ask me what do you think about the fight, Vinny, who's going to win? I said, well, who's going to win is either Tyson's going to knock him out or Jones is going to win on a decision. Mm-hmm. And that's just what happened. Tyson went out looking to load up, bomb him out, and it didn't happen. Roy held on to him. Roy made a miss, because Roy's like unbelievable defensive fighter. Mm-hmm. Like unbelievable. Hand speed second to none. Mm-hmm. So, I thought it was going to go just like it did. I thought Tyson would come after him, load up with the big left hook. He was trying to kill him with a left hook. And Jones just ain't no sucker for that. Yeah, so he fought the fight that he had to fight. He had to hold. Mm-hmm. How the hell are you not going to hold this animal that punches holes in brick walls? he goes by a house and you just smash a brick wall and he puts a hole in it.
Well, I think it goes back to like what you were saying in the beginning. It's a guy that, in the beginning, if he doesn't want to get hit, he's not going to get hit. And now again, same strategy, just a little different tactics and how it's done. But I thought, here's a guy who's fought this guy. If anybody can give us some insight, it would be you for sure. Yeah,
he was, for me, and on top of the way that I felt that night, like I had nothing, but he was so hard for me to hit. Even like, I just like, even if I was good, if I was on money and in there when I was supposed to be in that ring, I would have had to get lucky. But I can get lucky. I got lucky a lot of times in the ring. I got lucky a lot of times, but I didn't have that feeling, that I didn't have the power. I didn't have that. Right. But Jones, I remember, I said, this fucking guy, I can't hit him. Nobody. And nobody could. Nobody could at that time. And mm-hmm. And Tyson, Tyson punches like a mule's kick. Yeah. Couldn't hit him.
Yeah, took his game away for sure.
Took his game right away from him. Yeah.
And let's talk about this, because
I was so glad it ended up being a draw. That was the best thing, because nobody beat anybody up, and Mike didn't hit Roy, or he would have knocked Roy out. Mm-hmm. Roy pity patted, got his little shots into Tyson's face, because when you hit somebody in the body, you leave your jaw open. Mm. He didn't hit Tyson in the body, because he didn't want to leave his jaw open, because he knows how Mike can hit. He knows he'd get flattened. So he stayed everything on top. Everything was on top, and come right back and block. Right back and block. When you go down to the body, you're out there. Your jaw's out there a little bit. For a little bit of time, your jaw's open. He didn't want that. And that's just what happened. I said Jones by decision or Tyson by knockout, and that's what happened.
And that's why they put you as a judge, because you're a master of the craft, for sure. I hope you're enjoying this podcast, and we're going to get right back to our guest in just a moment. But I want to share a quick word from our sponsors. The Pressing Limits podcast is brought to you by ZionMissionaryChurch.net, where you can listen and watch messages, you can share prayer requests, or even find out how to plan a visit. And also by NeuroPowerSource.com. Resources for your mind, your body, and your spirit. You'll find all the recommended supplements and gear I use, including the Be Strong bands, the new Juve 3.0 system, clear light infrared saunas, and so much more. You're going to be sure to want to check it out. Well, let's talk about this, because I really enjoy this part of boxing. I think everybody does. There's tremendous pageantry. You had an incredible ring presence. What went into your selection of ring outfits, your entrances? Can you talk about how important the walk is, the walk before you go in that ring, the pre-fight intros? Is there intimidation going on? Are you trying to psych out your opponent? Can you share about what that whole process is like?
All the time. That's crazy that you say that, because the average person wouldn't say that. Ask that intimidation. But I tried to intimidate every guy I was in there with. And most of the time I could see when I was getting to them, when they knew that, maybe they're in a little over their head, because I won 50 pro fights. Like, not too many people do that. I knocked out half the guys I fought, 50%. So that means every other guy is getting knocked out. So there's a good shot that you're going to get knocked out. So you know what you're doing. You know what you're taking on here. You're taking on a guy that's 50-50. He's going to knock you out. So
yeah,
I intimidated. I intimidated a lot of people. Yeah.
You had a nice even record, Vinny. 50 wins, 10 losses with 30 knockouts.
Yeah.
And how about the last fight with Tucker Pudwill? That was
fucking Tucker.
Tucker
thought he was gonna beat me. Yeah. I swear to God, Greg.
He beat you for 5 rounds.
I'm at the weigh-in with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I get on the scale. I make 168. So I get off the scale, and Pudwill's waiting to come up, and I go, Pudwill, what's it gonna be like? You're gonna be known as number 50 for the rest of your life. How you gonna like that, Pudwill? Pudwill, how you like that? You're gonna be known as number 50. Number 50 is gonna be your nickname.
I love it.
And I'm busting his balls, right? But the whole fucking time.
Stoic, yeah, from Nebraska, Stoic. He was a good fighter too, Vinny. That cat had a good record.
Yeah. Oh my God. So I'm looking at him, and I'm saying to myself, "Wow, this motherfucker really thinks he's gonna beat me." Oh my God. Wow, dude, you're gonna be the number 50. There's no way around it, bro.
Right. Imagine going after his 40th win, Vinny. He was 39 when you fought him. He was going after his 40th. You're going after your 50th.
He was
Vinny,
going after 5 rounds. How old? I think he was 28.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was in his prime too, literally.
He was in his 20s. So
that was your last fight. You came back in the last 5 rounds. It was incredible.
Yeah.
How the hell you did it? You were bleeding. Wow.
I go back to the corner after the 5th round, and our friend Jimmy Birchfield, who promoted the fight, he grabbed my trunks and he yells, "Champ!" I look over. He goes, "You're losing this fight. You gotta pick it up. You gotta start beating him." And I put my head back on the coat. I put my head back and I go, I literally go to myself. I said, "Vinny Paz, you're a fucking douchebag. Why'd you pick this guy? Out of all the guys you could have picked, I could have picked anybody."
And I know it.
anybody.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there going, I'm calling myself an idiot, and I'm going, all right, listen, let's pick this up and let's turn this around a little bit. Let's try and get back in the fight. And in the next 2 rounds, I dropped him. Came back, and that's when I beat him because I was losing the fight.
Yeah. You were down the first 5 rounds. You came back. Incredible. I don't know how the hell you had the willpower you had, the guts. You were, my God, you were almost down and out yourself. How about he hit you? He hit you some pretty good hard punches. One of the hardest punches you felt in your career.
Him and Duran hit me the hardest. Him and Duran hit me the hardest. Jones hit me the fastest.
Yeah.
Like Jones, and you want to know, you want to believe another one here. This is how I go back, and I'm thinking, and it's names are popping up in my head. Don't hit me fast as lightning too. Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather, his uncle.
Roger. How about that fight, Vinny? Tell the fans about that fight, Vinny. You almost died after the fight.
God. Yeah. I couldn't make lightweight. That's why Haugen beat me in the second fight. I beat Haugen in the third fight because I got him. We got him on the phone. It was me, Dan Duva, and Greg Haugen. So we're making the fight, and Dan Duva says, "What do you guys want to come in at? What do you fight?" And Haugen goes, "Oh well, I mean, I'm a lightweight." So anyways, where was I at?
With Mayweather. Oh, with Duva, Mayweather, and you on the Haugen. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and what he wanted to come in at.
Haugen made in Dan Duva, Lou Duva's son, who was the president of Main Events, who I was signed with. So Dan Duva says, "What do you guys want to come in at?" I said, let's not lose no weight, and we'll see who the real fighter is. I said, let's come in at 147, Greg. He goes, "Are you kidding me?" He says, "No way. I ain't doing that. I said, "Oh, what's the matter? You tough guy. You big tough man contest. So there's no weight limit there. You can't fight Vinny Paz at 145, 147. What's the matter, tough guy?" And he would not get off making 140. So like I kept going back and forth. So finally he says, "All right, Vinny, good, go ahead. I'll let you make 142. Come in at 142 then." And I was like, yes. So I came in at 142 on the scale. I went into the fight at 140, 48, 49. Felt great. He'd never even touched me. So I beat him 2 out of 3.
Yeah, you dominated him that fight. Dominated.
Yeah, but some of those other fights, like the Mayweather fight, oh my God, it was like if you ever had a dream and you, a lot of people probably never had this happen to them or a dream like this, but I've had plenty of dreams where I'm in a fight with somebody and I can't hit them. Like I hit them, but it just don't do anything to them. It just like soft. It hits them and it don't go through them. And that's how I felt in 5 fights in my life. 5, 6 fights out of the 10 losses that I had. It is such a rotten feeling when you're in there and you just don't feel it. You're getting hit with shots that are bombs. Fast speed shots, and you can't hit a guy, you can't hurt a guy. It's such a rotten feeling. And every time I felt like that, I said, all right, Pazman, you're going 12 fucking rounds. All right, Pazman, you're going 15 fucking rounds. You're gonna take a beating for 15 fucking rounds. Because my first loss was against Haugen. It was a 15 rounder. I fought the last 15 round fight in the history of boxing.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Crazy, right?
Good stuff. Well, let's talk about this. What was it like fighting Roberto Duran? I mean, this is legendary here. What was that like?
I couldn't believe it. Like I really, like I used to love that guy when I was a kid. I liked Muhammad Ali and Roberto Duran. So when I went to fight him, I was like, oh my God, I gotta fight this guy. And then he was getting cocky with me at the freaking press conferences. So now with like,
You guys hated each other at one point.
yeah,
Really?
I hate him. He's buddies with me today.
I know. You're best. Yeah, I loves you now. Loves you. You were in the ring with his kid.
What?
You were in his son's corner.
Yeah, I wanted to work with his kid, but
yeah.
wasn't he's not his father.
Oh, but Vinny,
like who the hell is Roberto Duran? Like who in the history of the game is a Roberto Duran? Not many people.
Oh,
no, he was amazing.
Yeah,
amazing. He was an amazing fighter, and that's what he was. His father. He was a badass fucking fighter. He could fight his ass off.
Oh, Duran, he had heavy hands.
Oh my God! When he hit me, the first shot of the first fight in Las Vegas.
Right.
Moving around. I go down to duck a punch. He smashes me on the top of my head, and I'm going, no way this guy hits this hard. No way. You're cold, Paz, man. Move around. You warm up, you won't feel it. Move around. Hits me with a body. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Another call.
Can you hear me?
Yep, yeah. You're good.
Okay, so hits me with a body shot. The second shot, I went, no way. I said, there's no way I'm going to be able to take this kind of punishment for 12 rounds. I said, no way. So in the 5th round, he puts me on my ass, and I was like, what the? I swear to God, I was throwing a bomb. The fight was in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand. I was throwing a bomb from Rhode Island. Next thing I know, I swear to God, the next thing I know, I open my eyes and I see canvas next to my eyeballs. I'm going, what the fuck am I doing here? I jump up. I walk to the corner. And I'm holding onto the ropes, and I'm looking out in the audience. I happen to lock eyes with
Montel Williams.
I just did his show, Mother, Fighters and Their Loved Ones. I just did Montel show. The nicest guy ever. We went out to eat with him after. Me, my dad, my mom, his wife. So I'm holding on to the ropes. The ref's counting, and I'm looking at Montel Williams, and Montel's going, "Come on, baby. You can do it. You can do it. Come on, man." And I was looking at him thinking, fuck you, Montel. You get your black ass up here with it. You think you can do it. Oh, I'm dying to see him. I haven't seen him since then. But I'm going to tell him that. He'll crack up.
Wow. You know, one of the things that was great about you is you were a fantastic self-promoter. I mean, you really knew how to promote yourself. How important is promoting to a fighter, and how did you become so good at it?
I don't know. Good question. Real good question.
Your natural personality, Vinny, that came out. Your natural, you weren't fake. You didn't fake anything. It was your natural personality. You were confident. You were the.
This is a good one. This is a good one. You're gonna laugh at this, and this is gonna prove to Zena that I'm funnier than she is. Because my mother, when I was a kid, like I told you, I started boxing at 5 years old. My mother, when I was a kid, I used to be a little ball buster because of Muhammad Ali. Because I used to see how Muhammad was a ball buster. He was always joking, always clowning around.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be doing something, I'd clown around. And my mother says, "Oh, Vinny, you're going to be such a comedian one day." And "No, I'm not, Ma." She'd say this to me all the time. She'd say, "No, I'm not, Ma. I'm going to be a fighter. I'm not going to be a comedian, Ma." You know, I said to her all the time. I'm a kid. I'm a kid all the time. So,
Vinny, how about your mom not watching any fights, but standing by the rosary beads in our house. How about that, huh?
Yeah. I had everything. I had everything working with me. I had God on my side. All my parents.
Your mom prayed the whole fight.
Yeah,
incredible.
That was incredible. I know if people would have seen that, they would have never believed it. Like she couldn't watch like one fight. She didn't watch one fight I've ever had. But the fights that I won, she'd go back. I got VHS tapes all over my house.
Wow.
My mother used to tape all the fights. It's so crazy.
You know, I think Greg was onto something there. We're talking about. I think one of the reasons you were such a good self-promoter is because who you were in the ring is who you are. Like I don't think there's a fighter Vinny Paz and then, a domestic, or quiet Vinny Paz.
Yeah.
I think that's what people are so attracted to is that you are who you are. Would you kind of agree with that?
Yeah, 1,000%. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are pretty good on this show. You're good.
Hey, we got a great
know
guest.
You better than you.
We got a
good
right.
shit.
You're right. That was some of my and like I said earlier, I loved Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Full figure.
I
loved Muhammad Ali.
So it's kind of ingrained in you as a kid. I mean, you've seen his promotion. I mean, people were, again, when you have that big personality like he does, like you do, I mean, there just is something that, you just kind of are a magnet for people. I mean, they just really enjoy being around you. They want to root for you. They want to come alongside of you,
Yeah, and that was I didn't realize like now that they would all be gone except G-Vart. Except they'd all be they are all gone. All G-Vart's the only one.
No, you still got fans all around the world,
yes,
Vinny.
absolutely.
Huge
fans everywhere.
Can you guys?
Well, let's talk about this a little bit.
Can you guys see that?
What?
Just barely. Can you? I can see a little bit. I see the bottom picture.
I got two beautiful women in my life. Can you see that?
I can see it now.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got two beautiful women in my life, and I'm so lucky because she's hot as hell. And my PR, I hate even calling her my PR girl. She's so much more than that. It's like my fucking right arm. She's just incredible, Zena. She just wants to be known as Zena. So I gotta give her credit. Hopefully she's watching. I doubt it because this is so boring. But but I'm glad G-Vart's on this with me.
Thanks,
and you're
bro.
good. You're a good host, bro. Now, I don't mean it like that.
Oh, thank you. Well,
I'm like sick of myself. Like I see myself all the time on TV. Like, I'm over it. I'm literally over it.
Well, let's talk about this for a second. You had this crazy accident, and you were able to overcome the most devastating injury possible. You go in against doctor's orders. You win the fight. I mean, it's just an incredible comeback story. In fact, I think it's just so inspirational to people. How were you able to overcome that injury? Like, how did this happen? I mean, 3 weeks and you were how many months in a halo? I don't even remember how many. You spent a long time in a halo.
Yeah, 3 months.
3 months.
The worst 3 months of my life. Yeah, it was 1,000% the worst 3 months of my life. Like, think about this. Every day, every single day, you wake up and there's screws drilled in your skull. 4 screws in your skull. It's I wouldn't suggest that for anybody to live except for Greg Haugen. Yeah.
Vinny, you lifted weights with it. You just
nuts.
Get pain. You worked through the pain, the uncomfortableness. You really
it was
hit it from your doctor. You hit it from everybody, even your dad, your mom.
Yeah.
You worked with the weights, with the halo on. Incredible.
It was
Unbelievable.
slightly incredible.
Yeah, you almost paralyzed, Vinny. Think about it. Almost paralyzed. What do you say? A millimeter away, you would have been paralyzed?
A millimeter.
Yeah.
Blessed.
Yeah.
A little itty bitty millimeter.
Wow.
2, I want to know the truth. 2 millimeters.
Unreal.
Yeah, it is unreal. But it's cool. I'm lucky I'm alive today, you know. I don't want to live long. I'm not one of those guys that want to live long. I want to live for a good time, not a long time. Right now, if Zena's watching, she's going to fucking kill him.
Well, you know, for you, Vegas and Atlantic City were always special places for you. Like, why did you have such a connection to those two places? Like, what was it that you enjoyed so much?
That is the coolest statement anybody has ever said to me. That's badass.
Well, I learned a little bit. Burt Watson said that you really loved those places.
Loved those places. I loved Atlantic City, but I loved Las Vegas. Oh my God, yes. Wow. I can't believe you said that. That's a good one.
Well, what was the connection? Like, what made it so, like, where you just connected with those places? What was it?
I have bad sleeping habits. You know, I like to stay out late. Mm-hmm. Those places are 24/7.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was one great thing. I just love the whole scenario. I like the casinos. I like what's around it, the clubs, the restaurants were unbelievable. And it was right up my alley. And I used to gamble. Like, if you saw me gamble, you'd think I was a billionaire on crack.
You went on a pretty good streak. How about that big one you went on? That big streak. 700?
Oh, yeah. Just made the score. Marty Kunkel was my dealer. He's one of my best friends today. He's right up there with you, G-Vart. Mm-hmm. Nobody's better than you. But thanks. Marty Kunkel's good dude. Good dude. Never forget that night. Oh, my God. What a night that was. We're talking about, me and G-Vart are talking about, one night I went into Bally's Casino in Las Vegas. I literally had $20,000 to my name, and you know, it's not like I had $20,000 to my name and everything else is fine. I had $20,000 to my name, and I owed $100,000 in 6 different casinos.
Wow!
So I was crazy. This is so crazy. I got my last $20,000, and I don't know what I'm gonna do if I don't lose this $20,000. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I go up to the high rollers room in Bally's, and I walk into the place where high rollers room. I just happen to see this kid behind the blackjack table, and he says, "Hey, Vinny Paz." He said, "Oh my God, how you doing?" And I said, "Oh, cool. What's your name?" And we actually, which you can't do today, we slapped each other 5, handshook with him, and I said, "Come on, kid, I need to make a hit like you only read about." He goes, "Yeah, let's do it." The limit was only $5,000. I put first five up, so I got 15,000 left to my name. First hit, I'll never forget. It started at 10 o'clock at night. First hit was blackjack, so I start rolling. At 5 in the morning, 4 or 5 in the morning, I called my dad up, and it was 8 o'clock in the morning in Rhode Island. So I'm calling, and at the time, there were no cell phones, and this was in '96, and so I'm letting it ring, I know my father's going to get up and answer it. I know he is. So right, finally he answers the phone. He goes, oh. I go, Dad, Dad, it's me, Dad. Dude, oh, Champ, what are you doing, Champ? What are you doing? Dad, I'm in Las Vegas. I just buried him, Dad. I buried him. My father, I swear to God, I could see him on the phone going like this. Oh, Champ, oh, Champ, lock the doors, Champ, lock the doors. I said, Dad, it's not the Wild Wild West. I said, Dad, I was cracking up. Lock the doors. That should be a movie. Oh man, so crazy. But what a night that was. That was one of the craziest nights of my life. The best and craziest nights of my life. That night that I made that hit. God, I don't know what I was gonna do. It's just, I just look back and go, what the fuck were you thinking?
What was the final total? What was the total, Vinny?
Around 850,000, a little less than $1 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the lesson from Vinny Paz is when you're at the tables, you go big or go home. Is that...
Sorta, yeah. Yeah, go big or go home. Yeah, it's so crazy to see. Like with me, I'm up. I'm always going, and you know when you're playing blackjack, when you are a blackjack player, and I was a blackjack player, you can't go all the time. You know, you got to stay back. I used to literally go almost every night, and I survived because I made big hits. You know, I hit for 100,000 like so many times. You know, I'd hit for 50,000 like it was nothing. And a couple times, one time in Atlantic City at the Tropicana, I hit for $275,000. Another one. I had a couple of $150,000 hits. I had one 250,000 hit. I had a bunch of 100,000s. But you see, when you're in that game and you have that in your mind, like I'll tell you where it all started first. I'm in Atlantic City, and I was doing a promotion for one of the casinos, Bally's, and I went there with this girl named Pam Lambert. She was gorgeous, and we watched a George Foreman fight, and we said bye. I went down to gamble. She fell asleep. I go, at the time, the casinos closed at 4 a.m. So I go down, it's midnight. At 4 a.m, and this like never happened to me before. I would always play a little bit, maybe $1,000, a couple $100. This night I go down with $500 in my pocket. I walk back up to the room. I throw the chips on the girl. I hit for $64,000. Oh my God! I thought I found the key to life. I thought I found God. I thought I found the key to life. Oh my God! So like I was literally playing with $25 chips. So I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I was playing with $25 chips. Imagine if I was ever playing with $100 chips. I would have knocked the house down. And that was, that was probably the worst thing that ever happened to me.
All right.
But it made a lot of great trips. Made a lot of fun. Nobody did what I had done. No, nobody. It's impossible. I don't get LeBron James, all the money, Michael Jordan, whatever. All those guys, like people with money, they haven't done the things that I've done. it's impossible. Impossible. And then I had the best time doing it. Oh shit. I'm not telling people to go out and enjoy, love blackjack. No, but you gotta keep your limits, and you can't go all the time. You can't go. That was my problem. I went all the time. I would go, 5 nights a week, which is crazy. I don't know how I survived. I was lucky. I was very lucky. You gotta be lucky in life. You gotta be good, but you gotta be lucky too. And I had a lot of luck. Look at the luck. I had screws in my head. Got lucky, came back.
Well, because that's the Paz way. It's you're all in or all out, and that's what I'm trying to say. Is that that's one of the things that made you such a successful fighter. Is you're all in. It's like all the chips are on the table, and that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah, you're so right. Yeah, you're so
John,
right.
They did 2 movies of his life: the boxing career and then his social life. Unbelievable. Wild life. Unreal. A little tame now. Vinny's more tame.
G-Vart. That's good. They
John,
should. Oh, my God.
You know it's Vinny's birthday today?
We did know it's Vinny's birthday today. So, I mean.
39. Yep, 39.
I say, you still haven't broke 40 yet today, brother. I love it. I love it.
No, I don't want to lie. I'm really 46.
Well, let me ask you one last question to you.
That's funny. There's nothing funny about that.
It's truth. It's 46. Truth. Let's talk about this just as closing here. You don't want to be respectful of your time. Where can people go to find out more about you? What's next for you? Got any plans going on? And is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience?
Wicked. And right now Zena's cringing because she's going, oh boy. But I have this great, unbelievable, I've been on TV since I was 18 years old. When I see something that is strong and unbelievable, I say it. They got this thing called the greatest comeback in the history of sports. And, oh yeah, that was on Vinny Paz, the greatest comeback in the history of sports. Yep. Mm-hmm. They're doing it. They're shopping it around now. I don't know where it's going to go and stuff, but it literally is going to be so impactful on people. It's gonna impact somebody really hard. It's gonna make you get up and get out of bed. It's gonna make you take that chance. The filming is out of this world, and God, it's amazing. Like I told you, I've been on TV since I was 18, but this is something that like I've never seen. I've seen everything.
Now, this is the documentary, Vinny, you're talking about, right? It's coming up on you?
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely fabulous. And that'll make things a lot easier for my Zena. That's what I'm the most happy about.
Good. Anything else you want to share?
Nah, not really, because right now Zena's shitting a brick. Yeah, I'm good. I barely go on Facebook, and I have like the Instagrams up and the other one, whatever it's called. But I'm not on it 24/7. It's just not my thing. And but this upcoming event, this upcoming TV special is going to be outrageous, and I love it. Like it's really going to be fantastic. So that's the biggest thing that's going on, and that's going to be a big one. The greatest comeback in the history of sports. Go figure. My little stupid ass in Cranston, Rhode Island.
I love it.
Now all the young people are going to see how you did it, Vinny. They don't know about this. The young people at 20 to 30. Yeah, they've never really, they don't follow boxing. Entails more than boxing. It's a comeback from life. It was incredible. You won world titles after you almost died and broke your neck and were paralyzed.
Yeah,
it is the greatest comeback. Nobody's could do that or ever will do that again. No, especially the toughest sport there is, boxing. Never.
Well, I want to thank our guests, the champ, Vinny Paz, and G. Vart for being on today. Greg Vartanian, it was great to have both of you on today. Thanks so much for being on the show.
This is going to be a new thing. This is going to be a new thing now. Zena, hook up G. Vart with me on every show I do.
G. Vart's career just got launched right now. You know, he's putting out his first hip hop album coming out pretty soon. So be ready for it. He's going to be dropping mad rhymes, you know. So thanks again for being on the show, man. It was fantastic.
You're good. Absolutely.
I also want to thank our sponsors, ZionMissionaryChurch.net, NeuroPowerSource.com, podcast producer, Drew Kiespert, video director, Jolyn Thomas, head of talent relations, Mr. Fairfax Hackley. Be sure to rate us and subscribe to the Pressing the Limits podcast and follow us on Instagram for the latest episodes. For more ways to watch and listen to this podcast, check out the Pressing the Limits podcast website.